Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the old school new vibes, where the older and the new G's speak about the golden era and the modern era. Old school, new school, need the murder.
1 2 1 2.
Yo, why you don't be rocking my shit?
Because your shit is my shit.
I was waiting.
That's a good one.
Yo, watch him.
Just check in, bro. Yo, I need you to talk that talk, man. Make them understand the flavor.
Yeah.
If they ain't know, man, let them know.
Yo. I get busy, risky business here. Let's make clear. On you, I'm not sold, put on hold your career. Hear me? I'm the one. Coming for what's older me, that's a death. Like number 3 on the rotary. Totally disconnected from the truth, not a shred. Hung up trying to conspire, backfired instead. I'm calling for your head.
Yeah. Old school, new vibes.
Welcome back, y'all. We got a new guest today.
Yes, sir. Yo, we on a roll.
Word. We keeping the hip hop vibe going.
We like super official, but yes, welcome back to OSNV, Old School New Vibes. And yo, Truth, man.
Yo, what up?
Good looks, man. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for coming through, brother.
Me,
that was off the Nostalgia Therapy EP.
Yeah, that was
Beat
cool.
Miners, yeah.
Produced by the Beat Miners, of course.
Subliminal joint, yeah.
And of course, we also have to. We have who's like our honorary member, honorary member in the
Recurring
in the
special guest.
He's
right?
fact checker. Checking facts.
I come out smoking weed.
Yo, word, okay,
I like that.
Yeah.
Get the gizzy.
What's good, fellas? What's new?
Yeah, no, you were talking about nostalgic, right?
Nostalgia Therapy, yeah. That's the second album I did with the B Miners.
B Miners, yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah,
that.
like
You got joints with them already, right? Like,
yeah, I've been working them since the first album, and they did a joint. The second album, and then the third they did the whole, and then the fourth one was an EP, and I'm doing the fifth one EP with them, another
That's
one.
what's up,
So
man.
part 2. Yeah, to this one.
Where did you meet the B Miners?
Through PF when I first started messing with PF. Then he
Shout out to
introduced me
PF,
to
yo.
Shout out to
Yeah.
PF Cutting on the intro.
We're a theme song for the Old School New Vibes podcast.
He was like our first
production
studio,
person. Yeah.
one of the
man.
first studio, like real studio
Mixer,
hip-hop.
master.
Yeah, I remember we went to like some bullshit back in the
Engineer,
days,
everything.
but like official, like
Producer.
go there, and he's tapped into the culture, you know?
Yeah. PF was. That's what I like really first started with. Like my first album was with PF. He mixed and mastered all the albums. So the first album he didn't master, but all the other ones he like mixed and mastered, whatever. And he introduced me to Mr. Walt, and we just started working from there. He did a joint off my first album I did with OC and AG and DITC. And then they did the intro, my second album, and a bonus cut, and then the third they did the whole joint, and then this one I'm working on now, and the one before they doing everything too.
That's you got some legendary like cameos on there, man. Seriously, man.
What's that
good
joint y'all
peoples,
did?
man.
Y'all did a crew joint with it's like a symphony kind of joint with a bunch of heads on it. Tretch.
Yeah, that's how I did the video for on the first album I did with the B Miners. We did a Entourage call.
Entourage.
And we tried to take like Joe Fado's on the hook, and Large Professor. So we did like from barbecue joint. Like took something that he said from barbecue, and Fado does like all the hooks, like the symphony, like you know what I'm saying. So we got Large on there, Tragedy Gaddafi, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, and Raz Kaz, and they all came for the video. So I was like lucky.
That's a dope old school
shot in
lineup right there.
Queensbridge, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all
New
those
York.
artists like
that was like the only feature record on that album. So I was like, let me try to make it. You know what I'm saying? So I never did a posse record before. So I was like, yo, I want to do a posse record.
And you did a video to it.
First like
Posse record. Yeah, that was with them. So I was like, I got to make a real good record. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to make sure, and they all came out. So
how crazy is it, right, to be a fan of, you know, when you're doing music and you're like, oh shit, you know, I got this dude on it, but you know, it's like I grew up being inspired. These are accomplishments, right? These are like
like getting Tretch on the record, and then he came for the video. He's the first one there. We talking for a
that's
while.
dope.
Like, yo, I just got you.
You know, for those who don't know, who's Tretch, like, come on.
Yeah,
Naughty by Nature.
Grammys.
OPP, this is a global song, you know, even if
he's a
it's just
superstar.
that song, you know what I mean? Like, but man, this is crazy. That's
to be like, you know, I remember listening like the videos back in the day on MTV and seeing Video Music Box too. But I'm like seeing them and then like to be able to work with them and chill with them is like, it's crazy. It's kind of like surreal, you know.
Tretch is thorough too, yo.
Yeah, he slept on as a lyricist too. People sleep on him, but he don't get a lot of credit.
Eminem puts him up there for real. But not a lot of people mention Tretch as a lyricist. He definitely deserves his props.
Yeah, Naughty by Nature, that whole crew had bars for days.
Yeah, he's like crazy. Like he got mad hits, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tretch is an animal, bro. He's a rhymer.
He's still
you know what I'm saying?
That.
Yeah, bro, for real.
Yeah. I was rocking the Nostalgia Therapy in the whip on the way here actually, and I noticed like you got a very unique combination of delivery and your voice too, like the tone of your voice, all of it. It's like I haven't really heard anybody spit like it. Where do you like draw your inspiration from in terms of like when you first started writing, or like where did you like? What did you listen to growing up and rock with that made you spit the way you spit?
I think like I kind of changed a little bit in terms of like my delivery and flow, and even though I was like rhyming for a long time and I came out with my first album, I feel like I changed a little bit in terms of like my flow and delivery from more the first album to second album to third album. And now like I felt like in the third album, I was like, yo, that's where I want to be at.
Gotcha.
And then the fourth album, I like a lot lyrically, you know, even though like the third album is probably like the most popular with the B minors and having the Posse record on there. But I feel like lyrically, like I'm like where I want to be. Even though like I rhymed for so many years, but I'm like,
you're in the zone right now.
Yeah,
right now
like,
you're in the zone.
Yeah, I felt like around that time.
My boy was showing me all his folders on his phone. He got like fucking 100 folders with different fucking pages full of bars and shit like that.
Once I started learning how to rhyme on my phone, I was like, you know, write everything down. I was like, yo, it's over, bro.
I know you got dudes who have like old books and books of their old shit,
and they stick with the books. A lot of people stick with it because it's what they know.
I still sometimes I do, right? I ain't gonna lie. Like sometimes I write so much and I need to see it. Like I'm a visual person, so I need to like see. I remember like being in the studio with Sean Price and I was writing on my phone.
Sean P, man.
Sean P, rest in peace. And he was like, you know, he's just a joker. It's like he's fucking with me. He's like, yo, you got a fucking Beamer and you fucking dry and you fucking. I had like those old phones that you like slide off, and I was like, yo, because I could write on it. He was like, he's fucking with me and shit. But I always like I like the feeling of writing, but like I can do it on my phone, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes like I just write so much on my phone, it's like it's so hard to organize sometimes. And I'm like, yo, I need to just write it on paper. So I started going back now to paper a little bit just to like see it sometimes. And I felt like that helps me get over like a little hump or something.
Speaking of the process we were talking about before about like inspiration and shit, right? And I was like, yo, anime, just, you know, I lock in on maybe same visual, maybe a movie or, you know, some anime, but like what growing up, like what were some of your inspirations and stuff?
You could draw inspiration from anything. Like sometimes I could hear somebody say something and it'll like trigger something in me. Like, and I write it down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could be watching, like I always feel like music is for me in some ways because it always happens all the time. I could be like driving like in like under a toll, like going through a toll, and then the music says something with a toll, and it happens all the time. And I don't know, it's like some weird shit. I'm
synchronicity.
Like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know why it happens to me like that.
Of a hip hop synchronicity, this is crazy, right? So I'm at the light, turn green, and like, and this happened, of course, all like in nanoseconds. But light turned green. There's nobody behind me, and I wanted to put a song on. So I was like, let me put the song on first. Fuck it. I went put the song on. Thank goodness I did that because a car was speeding so fast, bro, that even if it would have
like milliseconds,
bro. And it was like, damn, son, hip hop saved my life.
Literally, right?
So you a lot of your joints, you like having scratches on them, and up until the point that you had to prove a point to some of the naysayers that were like, yo,
the first like
doing a lot of scratching, but you do take part in that. You don't just leave it to the producer to do it. You really go digging in the crates.
Yeah, I find all the scratches.
For the samples,
I find all the
shit.
skits. I find samples sometimes.
Yeah,
but only because Mr. Ward told me. Like he's like, yo, can you do like some more hooks? And I was like, but the way like I'm so crazy. Like in my head, and I told him, I'm like, it makes me think that you think I can't find I can't do a hook, even though like you know,
so you did it to prove a point.
Yeah, like so half the songs on Nostalgia Therapy are all like hooks, like Join With Me and Flush is like back and forth.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. And so I made sure I did like a bunch of hooks. Like yo, give me a sample that's something like, and I'll cater to the sample, and I rhyme in between the sample or the hook. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep doing more hooks because you know I fuck with it. He's like, nah, I didn't say that. I was like, nah, I need you to say that to me. And I'm like, yo, whatever you feel like, I feel like I like his input. So I'm like, tell me, whatever. I don't want to feel like I'm boxed in by anything either. And I'm using like scratches as a crutch. That's
no
not
pun
like what I'm
intended with the boxing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's also your signature sound. There's nothing wrong with having that too.
You know what I'm saying? But
like you said, you have a unique sound. So,
for real.
but it's good to branch out because that shows growth too.
As long as I stay like I don't compromise like my art in any way, then I feel like like the boom bap. Like I feel like then I could do hooks, I could do whatever. It doesn't matter. But the way he said it, because I'm so like crazy, I'm like, you said it in a way like you think I can't write hooks, so I'm gonna write more hooks. You know what I'm saying? So, but it also depends on the song that I worked on. If I hear like scratches on, I'm gonna do a scratch hook. If I hear like, like a hook on it, I'm gonna do a hook on it. You know what I'm saying? Like it really depends on what like it speaks to me. Like, I'm not gonna just do a hook because you told me to do a hook. It doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? But like if I feel like it sounds right, then I'm gonna do it. But I try to keep in mind with those songs, particularly because he told me like to do more hooks. I did more hooks like on that album.
What's funny is that I had the actually opposite approach to that when I heard it and I was hearing the scratches, which they're dope by the way. Great choices for samples. I figured it was a production choice to do that. I figured them producing your records, that's their style, that they included that. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I gotta get somebody to do that shit for me, bro. This shit sounds fire.
Yeah, I gotta pick everything. I'm
that's
crazy
dope.
too.
You
like,
pick some dope shit.
I try to like find all the samples, scratch, like everything. Mostly like 99% of everything, like scratches or finding skits. I usually find or little things in between. Like I try to, and this album that I'm working on with them now, I'm finding all the samples for them. So I was like, yo, is it cool? Like, I told them, I was like, yo, is it cool if I give you? Because I know they legendary producers. So I'm like, me telling you to do something.
Tread lightly.
I don't know, like, your process and what you're comfortable with now. He was like, nah, if you want to do that, like, I just want to like, just try something different and challenge myself in a different way. And so far I've been giving them all the samples of the songs for Nostalgia Therapy 2, and it's been working out great.
How far along are you on that?
Well, it's only going to be, the first one was 7 songs and then 2 a bonus. Came out tonight. It's like a long EP, but this one I'll probably just do 7 songs. And maybe I'll do like a double wax, like from Nostalgia Therapy, because I did wax on all the albums except for the EP. So I was like, maybe I'll do like,
Where you combine them?
Yeah, combine them and do something different. I don't know if anybody did that. So I was like, that's something of an idea. So I might do that, you know what I'm saying? But
that's dope.
I think you've been knocking out like an album per year, bro. It's been...
If I don't have to wait for certain things, like to be honest, if I sat with somebody like a producer all the time and I wrote, I would do albums more like, you know what I'm saying? Like I probably would do more, but it's hard. It's not, you got to work on people's schedule. I got to, you got to work on
working with other people as well.
Of course. Like they're working on stuff too. So like,
big,
like they're doing other albums, doing Black Moon albums. They just finished another album that they did. They're working on some other stuff. So I'm like trying to fit in when I could go. Like I want to do more like sitting with them and, with the project. I'll give them samples, whatever, but I'm like, yo, I want to sit with y'all. You track out some of the songs that I'm writing to. Like I want to record there. I told them this time, I'm like, yo, let's try to record. I'm trying to do different things and just be like, yo, maybe I record there. And then you do the track out and then you do the scratches.
So you record right now still at PF's, right?
PF and then at my crib. And then I had some like technical thing going on. So I haven't recorded. I like recording in my house, like if I could, you know what I'm saying?
Dope.
But this, the last album I was all in PF's, but before that was like mixed of like my crib and then like with PF's, and I might do something with the B minors in their crib maybe this time around. And you know what I'm saying? Since they're tracking it out and I'm like, after I rhyme, then you like track it out, you know what I'm saying? And feel like with the drops and all of that. And maybe do all the scratches too in the crib. So
you thinking of doing wax again or just
if I do, I might
digital?
do like the part 1, part 2 and like kind of like put it together and do something like that. Cause I did all the first 3 albums and then the EP I didn't. I just did digital and I'm like, yo, maybe I'll do it since part 1, part 2 and since the B minors did both of them, I'll put them together and maybe do like a part 1, like 1 wax, 2 wax, you know what I'm saying?
Make them like a collector's item and stuff, a novelty.
Thinking about it.
You gotta get creative nowadays, bro, because it's like, the current temperature of music right now is crazy, man. Like, to really make an impact or to, it has to be more than just the music. Now it has to be attached to something in a lifestyle, there has to be more to it, because the way we grew up, we had like music, hip hop as like the theme music to our life,
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
These kids, they got so much other stimulation that it's not music
A lot more
anymore.
choices.
It's music still.
Shorter attention spans.
Exactly. They're moving on to something else.
And it
you
reflects
know?
in the music though too, like the quality of
course.
music.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can see, like I'm not trying to hate on
100%,
nobody, but
Nah,
I just
but
don't like listen to
truth is
certain
truth.
artists. Like you know what I'm saying? I just don't. It's just I don't know. You know, I'm stuck in my ways. But if it doesn't grab me, like I listen to like not just how you rhyme. Like I gotta hear the way the beats that you pick. I gotta hear
message,
everything.
everything.
The way you put your song structure together. So I pay attention to every little detail of what somebody does. But if you don't like kind of like draw me in right away, like you know what I'm saying. But I like so many different types of hip hop.
Who do you like? Is like new school. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't gotta say like
modern,
it's not someone
or modern,
you
we'll
love,
say
or
modern,
just someone
yeah.
you appreciate. Like, oh, okay, I see that.
Somebody spitting bars.
Damn, I don't know if he stuck me on somebody, but I'm trying to think of somebody new that I like. You know who's
Or don't even gotta be somebody. It could be a song that because this me it'll catch me like I'll hear something I wouldn't even know who the artist is. I'm like, oh, this shit is kind of dope, you know. But I know it's definitely something more modern, you know, modern.
more
day.
modern. I feel like more like. I started to listen to more like Benny the Butcher. I saw
I
like
like
some of
Benny.
like his
Yeah, I
like
like Benny too.
punchlines and stuff.
Yeah,
like something that like
he like
They
that's
keep
that
it
same
grimy,
sound.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
got the same
grimy.
sound anyway. We're from
Yeah.
Griselda sound is pretty much the '90s sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like forever, you know that niggas been. You can't, why do you feel about that? Because you're from East New York, and it's like now we on the podcast, and now it's like we gotta.
Art slips up more than most.
Yeah,
you
because
gotta
this was-
say what you gotta feel. If you're gonna
Right,
say
yo,
what you
this is,
say.
we're from, but that's nothing, bro. Even the white people, and like where we were from, bro, said it, and it was like nothing with no issue, like
Yeah, we don't mean it like that.
Different
no,
world.
and
Yeah.
then now this world, bro, it's like holy smokes,
Yeah,
man.
it's like you gotta watch every little thing that you say. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like more of a conscious person. I watch everything I say, whatever. But like I don't do it in a way like I can't say like I feel anybody should be able to say
It's
whatever
like
they want
I'm
to say. Bro.
conscious when I
Yeah,
say
I agree
it,
with
and
you.
I want to say it, but I don't want to be, you know.
I don't even
You're
think it's
fans
I
for it,
want
I
to
think.
say
I
it. I
wanna-
think it's like a repetition thing for you
No,
more.
I-
It's
you
not
know
like
why?
you're
Because-
dying to. It's just more of
Yeah,
a,
Adding
no,
it to
because
throw
it's-
emphasis
yeah,
into what
yeah,
you're saying.
It's like, you know, if I came through and I got this yellow hat that doesn't match, but I know this yellow hat is dope. Sometimes it just fits the mood of what you were saying,
I
what
hear
you're
that.
feeling, you know? And that's why I feel there's certain amazing rappers that use it, and I get it, you know what I mean? And it's also it's almost like that common ground that you, but it's easier for other artists to come across with that. But
You
yeah,
want
man,
to say whatever? Like I don't know. I'm not super sensitive. Everybody takes everything like offensive, bro.
What do you
Like,
think about the state of hip hop nowadays? You think it's like super watered down?
I mean, it depends on like what you're looking for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only
What do
listen
you
to like
personally
undergrad.
think? What do you
'cause
personally
I
think?
just listen to like what I listen to.
You
yeah.
know what I'm
He's
saying?
talking. You're
gotta-
talking more about mainstream hip hop.
Yeah,
Like
just
I
as a
don't listen to the
whole.
radio at all.
you know what's funny?
You know, I
What
just
is
don't.
mainstream
It's just
hip
me.
hop though?
Mainstream is what's popular. That's it.
But,
Whatever
you
the
know,
current climate says is
Yeah, it's
popular.
Crazy because you
What
got
hits are out
what's
there?
popular on the radio, and then you got what's really popular in the club, and then you got what's popular that's playing in the streets, right? Like when you're walking down, I'm walking down Flatbush, and, you know, and I hear like, you know, reggae or whichever artist who's coming to mind right now. What's his name? The trap rapper of Fivio.
Fivio Foreign.
Yeah, you know, I hear a lot
haven't heard
of
this
him.
dude.
Never-
No,
no.
I hear a lot of that around the way, you know, but I don't hear that
Tekashi
on.
6ix9ine.
But remember, there's a digital world too that has
That's
to be
what I'm
taken
saying.
into account.
So it's like, which one is Trump, right? Because there's all these popular pockets. And I think that's what it really is. It became so diverse right now, man, that it almost kind of spread out. It's a little thin. And this is why right now there's issues with, you know, the
Well,
top
I mean,
artists.
it was
Oversaturation.
and it was thin for a while, but I think that the way that it's shifted now, a lane has opened back up to be able to listen to quote unquote non-popular
our
music
generation, bro.
and not have to dig. Like it's there now. Whether it's the artist putting it out on their own social media accounts, whether it's people reposting that because the artist has, you know, his own. You know, his own people's putting it out. You end up seeing it more than you would have saw it, say, 10 years ago, where all you would see is just whatever is deemed popular. So I think on that's good.
And,
but
and then popular is also what's your algorithm, right? Because it's
well,
like,
yeah.
So it's crazy. Everybody's quote unquote sense of popular is really what they're
looking at, because they're gonna get fed more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, of
so
course.
that's it's a crazy time, man.
Not that I think they bad or nothing. I just don't like. You gotta.
It don't move you.
You don't include it in your rotation.
Yeah, but and also I don't like listen to like the radio, or like if I just listen to like something that might pop up like underground. Like I like what I like, and that's it's not like offense to anybody else.
Yeah,
like listen to
I
which
do
one.
listen, Sirius XM like Shade 45 usually plays some.
You won't be listening to reggaeton anytime soon.
No, yo, I do, bro. Wifey plays
like if
reggaeton.
I'm gonna go like be at
To
the
a
club, and
club,
not
or
that
you
I'll be
with
at
a
the club
shorty
anymore.
and then she's rocking
like
that,
you know
you
what I'm
know.
saying. Like then I might do some, you know what I'm saying. But I'm not gonna like
You're not
like
rocking it like
listen
your
in my
headphones.
car like black. Like it's
He's not gonna do an Instagram story like.
Nah, like I need something that's gonna like move me, like you know what I'm saying. We were talking about before, like time and everything. Like why I want to watch other people do things. Like I want to do things myself. Like if I'm gonna watch everybody do this and that, how am I gonna perfect what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Like even though I know how to like find samples or whatever, but like I want to stay in my lane and like in terms of like writing and stuff like that, and perfect my writing instead of just like doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta know where you fit in. Not that I can't branch out maybe later on and stuff,
But you still
like,
gotta feel it to be able to do it.
exactly. I gotta feel it, bro. Like I don't know. I just like I know what I like and what I don't like at this point. Like it's not like people gonna change my mind sometimes. Like yo, let me hear this. You want to hear
They'll
this guy?
try to, though. They'll definitely try to.
Yeah, they'll try. You know what I'm saying? But like it's not that I'm like I don't like the person or whatever. It's just like if it don't move me, it don't move me. You know what I'm saying? And I just stay where I'm at.
What do you look for first? Like the beat, the flow, or the lyrics?
Well, I like to me, like I think more time, like I develop like what do I want out of my sound. So I look at like somebody, not that I'm trying to emulate him in any way, but like I like Guru, and like people don't put him in a lot of lists, but when he knows how to make songs, and he can make a song about a chick, he can make a song about whatever, and he can make it sound good. So like part of it, like you take from people like, yo, I always wanted to be like make good songs, but at the same time be like come across as a lyricist and lyrical, like, oh, I didn't catch like he said that in this song, like, and go back and be like, oh shit, I didn't catch that he said that. Oh, I like that's the type of people that are gonna move me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's like I can listen to that 10 times, but I'd be like, oh man, like in the 10th time, I caught something that he said, or like, you know what I'm saying? Or you're giving me a topic that's something different, or you flip something different, the way that you flowed on it different. Like I don't like pigeonhole to be like, you know, one thing, you know what I'm saying? But like I could like so many different artists, you know what I'm saying? Like I could like a Tribe Called Quest and an NWA, like everybody's different. That's what I thought hip hop, like that I came off, was like everybody was so different, and like you got to appreciate for them being different. Now everybody want to try to sound the same, which I'm like, then where's the originality in like the music? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got different flows, different topics. That's where like I came off of, and that's kind of like what I take from in some respects, but I got to make it my own too. You know what I'm saying?
And are you like what are your goals? Are you ever want to get signed to a big label, or do you want to stay on your independent journey? Like, well, what do you have in mind?
No, I used to get money, but I'm saying like I like doing things on my own terms.
Especially, and I only say that because I'm gonna follow up with something else, but like just how
I was gonna bring up Animal Military Records.
So I did that myself because I was signed to a label when I first came out, an independent label, and that didn't work out well. Not even getting into like specifics, but like that didn't work out well. And then, but at the same time, I looked like what it took for me. I had like some exposure or whatever, but at the end of the day, like I kind of got those artists on my own, like, you know what I'm saying, with the help of people like OC, AG, Sean Price, you know, Psycho Les,
Legendary Cloth, bro.
like getting these guys.
Now you
like,
always out there,
you know what I'm saying?
You're
so
always
like,
at the events.
Yeah. I was like, if these guys can put my album out of wax, I could do the same thing. So I wound up doing it myself. Could I do a better job in certain things? Of course. I always like my toughest critic. So I'm like, I could always do things better. You know what I'm saying? But that's who I am as a person. I always feel like I could do everything better. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be hard on yourself. You want to improve, you know? But if they could do it, I did it.
Build yourself up to that point, they're going to come looking for you anyway. But, you know, I was saying that also because just the way hip hop is like unraveling right now, bro, how so much crazy shit is happening, and you're hearing all these stories that's really poisoning everything, bro, because right now I heard some new shit today, man. Like that chick, what's her name? Jaguar White, bro. She is wildin'.
Oh, with the Jay-Z accusations?
I'm totally out of the loop with that.
She took it back to Jay-Z and Pimp C. And the reason why Pimp C, like, that squabble and how Pimp C supposedly was messing with Beyonce. And like
I had heard that back in the day, but I mean, who the fuck knows?
But he was also saying how crazy in all these scandals that they're talking about right now, like all these sexcapades was happening like back then, and they were saying how it happened before them, right? This has been happening for like
forever.
And
I mean, rock and roll,
right? And then when you come to think about the music industry, right, like how it was created, right, like they say about the Italians and the Israelis, right? This is why it was created, right? Like so when you look at what were the intentions of it being created, when they weren't artists.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like I could understand artists and whatever culture you're from making the music industry. But when it's like
outside forces, yeah.
So now you see that they're coming in with
There's
crazy
an
agenda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like now we're at that point where let's say all these people get back, bro. And they all fucking banned. And then 20 years from now, all that shit is banned.
It'll be very, like, it'll tarnish some form of hip hop, but not hip hop at its core.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these
but it makes
artists,
you think, like, some of these artists,
like,
like,
real on
and
the
all
ground,
that
like
shit.
fucking in the caves and shit.
But I don't
like,
think it would
some
destroy
underground
hip hop.
The culture's grown bigger than any one person. Whatever happens to
No, but then it'll be more control, right? It'll be what they want on
also
display
depends on like
right now,
who
which
is
is what
the
they have
artist,
right
like,
now.
you know what I'm saying, like, because if I
defense.
think of an artist that I like grew up like love it, and then I'm like, damn, this person's a monster, was in real life, like I wouldn't even want to listen to his music. I mean, that's just me, because I'm like super like integrity and like
I never listened to Diddy anyway.
Nah, I didn't listen to him anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying it's kind of crazy.
To R. Kelly. Nobody's listening to R.
you're
Kelly.
right,
Nobody
you're right,
you
you're
can play
right.
that so you get sideways looks.
This is what I'm saying.
I used to like R.
So
Kelly.
just imagine
They
like
people,
all these
though,
songs
you know what I'm saying?
like,
It's
that
like-
were pivotal in your life, and now like bro, a lot of this music was made through like that blood, sweat, and tears, and and this new music. The new music isn't, because you got even like Funk Master Flex saying, "Yo, I gotta play this," and he'll literally say that shit, that he has to play this,
He
bro.
might really mean it. Like, I
And
really
and this is where we're at. So it's like, remember, we don't own the industry,
Payola.
and if it gets way more controlled, and bro, their censorship is on another level right now, son. Yo, censorship right now.
Yeah, like I that's why like sometimes I just can't, like, yo, they're controlling everything. Like, come on, man.
It's
Like,
super control, bro.
Yeah.
Certain
But
keywords, certain trigger words.
however, right? You're talking about as far as being signed to a label, they can more or less control your output, what comes out. But if you're independent, you have control of that. You post on your social media channels. People follow you on Spotify. You could still release shit independently on Spotify and all these channels. But
most of those guys, like, too, are like, they started with labels, though.
That's the shit.
Yeah, like, you're not really getting, but a lot of those guys all started with like majors, like most of them, and then they kind of like, now they don't really necessarily need them because they have a fan base or whatever, and they could do things on their own.
They fulfill their contracts and then they're done. They got their name to push them. Yeah.
Even if some of them, like, even speaking to like a lot of artists, and they'll be like, yeah, like, you got to take the benefits from it. At the end of the day, you became popular. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they screwed you on some things, but like, you built a following from there. You know what I'm saying? So some will be like, yeah, I got screwed on a lot of stuff, but like, you built a name from there. You know what I'm saying? And you were able to, like,
your fans follow you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, now you could do things on your own term, but now the game is also changing too. So you got to learn to like adapt to certain things. You know what I'm saying? So like, other people do things different. They might have not got jerked, some of those like other artists, but they know how to sell merch and they know how to tour. Like,
merch
you
is
gotta
really important right now too, man.
Yeah.
performances, shows.
Did you guys hear about all the labels? There were so many labels closed down recently, bro, and so many artists got dropped, bro.
Oh yeah, and they cut staff by like 75% everywhere. Yeah.
Crazy.
Meanwhile, supposedly profits are at an all-time high. So are they just trying to maximize every dollar, or are they
Maximize
lying?
the dollar, man.
Or are they lying?
That's not what all the CEOs
want to keep their fucking
I think it's
bonuses
at the
and all
point
that.
where they know that all the hits are getting paid for. All these millions and millions. Because look, it even was exposed that Not Like Us there were bots on there, right? Academics reported on that.
There's bots on any.
I know, but it's getting to that point where that's not equating to real money anymore either, right? No real true because you have someone like Taylor Swift, right? She has like almost 1 billion.
Fuck that hoe.
Right? But she'll sell like 1 million. But bro, almost 500 million people are following. You know, she should be selling way more. And she's like probably one of the top producers, right?
Yeah.
But and this is why they kind of sway the
because
the
they're not following
to
for
country.
music though. They're not following for the music.
If you peep game right now, they're trying to make that Tipsy song the hottest song of the. This is they're force feeding that Tipsy song and they're saying it's the #1 song in the country, right? Like
I never even heard that song.
Yeah,
this is
neither.
what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
even
bro. I didn't hear it until they told me that
Wifey
it's
likes
the most.
Taylor Swift too.
That
She
is
likes
one of
listening
them.
to
No,
it.
this is not Taylor Swift. This is another artist. He's actually a black country artist, which is dope. I'm not hating on the song. But I don't think this is the hottest song of the summer. Like I like you said, I didn't hear it until they started saying that this is the #1 song.
But it's the same system. It just changed the way they do it. So back in the day, the DJ played it, and until you got it so stuck in your head that you agreed and you thought it was the hottest song. Here, if a song has say 10 million plays, they bought it up to 15, 20 million plays, get it to #1, and then it does the same thing that the other. Having the DJ play it, 50 years ago, it's just a different way, but they're doing the same thing.
But
they force feed it.
It's not equating to money, is what I'm saying.
Well,
the
yeah.
force feed before, the force feeding of it forced you to buy it.
So
like if you go to the movie theater, right, and there's only 5 movies,
but everything's
you're gonna
changed,
see one
though.
of those movies. You know what I mean? So it was at that point they don't have that control anymore right now. So it's not reverting back to any currency.
So you're saying that even the charts now,
all those cuts.
Even the charts now are being manipulated. The
Same way
numbers are
with
being
fake numbers. Yeah,
fudged.
absolutely.
Like how much money?
So
does
nothing's
Drake,
organic.
Do you know how much
anymore.
money? Obviously,
A
we all
portion
know.
of it is, and then they take what's already
Like he said, they're
doing
trying
well,
to maximize
and
on the buck.
They
Throw
bring
it
it up
over.
to such a high value to make you think that everybody loves it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yo, Drake, right? One of the top artists, right? Even with all the money behind him right now, he had like 10 songs in the top 100, right? The billboards. Right now, he only has 1 song, bro. That's how much this disdain that they have for him now. Like the culture really shunned him, bro. That he even got to he didn't do it like in a pussy way, but he pretty much was out there venting like,
He was calling people out,
calling people, and I get it, for whatever. But from what you hear about everybody else too, the reason why a lot of people ain't standing up for him is because how he carried himself too. So karma is karma, but
Reap what you sow.
But even the money behind him is not even that force feeding.
But I read somewhere that if he were to say like fall off or get dropped or whatever, like half of the money in the industry would dry up.
No,
he literally generates most of
a
it.
cash cow.
Yeah.
They that's what they said. I mean, that he
shit
would
is
break
crazy.
the industry because he's the top artist. His deal,
They
he
would
has
put
a
that
life.
motherfucking bubble
his
wrap.
deal is
Yeah,
a
I
life
know.
deal, bro.
I know.
He has a life deal.
Necessary.
It's not like a 4-year.
But streaming
it's a
alone, he's
life
probably
deal,
like
bro.
he doesn't have to do anything in his life. Probably
Set.
just
Yeah, because
Set.
he
It
is
was
one
like
of the few
500
artists
mil. It
that
was
does
500
make
mil.
money streaming because the numbers are so damn high. So he actually does make money.
Yo,
streaming.
he makes so much money that he was the highest touring. Like he made the most money this year.
Touring wise too,
Even
yeah.
him
Broke
being on the
records, yeah.
decline.
Yeah, yeah.
He still made more than everybody.
So
bro.
we kind of went left field, but I wanted to ask you. You had mentioned that maybe your output could be a little bit more, but schedules don't align and stuff like that. Have you thought about branching out to other producers, or do other producers fall short because like you're getting such great production from your own camp?
I just after this album, I might do something with my boy Doom. So we've been talking like, so I might do
shout
something.
out to Doom.
Yeah, so we've been talking like before we were supposed to bring it back. So he was one of the first producers I really started working with, but he has like that boom bap sound. So we've been talking like doing
He's
something.
nice,
So
too.
I like, to be honest, I like the feel of like one producer doing everything kind of.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
It makes it easier too.
yeah, I like, since I had that, I'm like, yo, I like just one guy, boom, boom, boom. I don't gotta go through like 100 different people and like, yo, give me beat, give me this. Like,
It also
you know what I
helps you
want.
fill up the album because the
like Hit
producer
Boy and
knows
Nas.
what's missing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I gave him this.
Yeah.
We kind of need this, and this will complement.
It's more personal to them, yeah. Because
so
I
I might do
find
something with him,
that's usually my biggest problem
That's
with finding
what we
beats.
did the last 2 albums.
Because
like,
I've had like producers reach out and send me stuff, and usually like I'm looking for boom bap as well, and it kind of falls short. It'll either be close or it'll be like sounding like trap, and it just doesn't do anything for me. I actually did the same thing. Like for our last album we just dropped, I started the beats. Right now I haven't been producing all that long, so I mean I'm not a pro by any means, but I was able to grab the samples, chop them up the way I wanted, added a couple of sounds, made it better music, and then I handed it off to Luminary. Shout out to Luminary. So he would throw the groove on it, the bass, the drums, and then add whatever other little touches and flair. And that gave us, I thought, our best product. But it's hard to just reach out to people and be like, yo, send me beats. I feel like I never get anything of what I'm looking for because we're looking for boom bap, and
to
a lot of
your
people
point
don't.
before too about
do
like productivity. Luminary is like he's a very he's amazing at what he does. So he has a lot of artists that he's working with too. So it's like that roll call. Wait, yo, we were done with our album. Like, but we understand he got the
and he's got his own unique sound. You know that it's his work when you hear his mixes.
And I'm like more like hands on too. Like it's just like you sending me stuff. Like I'd rather be like
send notes.
Yeah, like boom, work with you, or like live. You know what I'm saying. Like yo, this is what I'm looking for. Like play me some stuff, or I'll give you. Like I'm not just like yo, you send me stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But like you know what I'm saying. I don't like just to work with somebody just because like they got good product. You know what I'm saying. Like I like to get to know them too. Like yo, where's your head's at? Well, like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, like and get to know you as a person. You know what I'm saying. Like I guess like all these other people, like you find out these people as mad monsters, and you're like, yo, damn, I did stuff with these guys. I never knew them. Like at least for myself, I'll be like, I could at least speak for like their character in some ways, and be like, yo, I work with them, and like we have some good chemistry or whatever.
No 9-year-olds in the studio.
Yeah, definitely not. Like you know what I'm saying. But like you know what I'm saying. But I like more the hands-on approach. Like I'm like old school in that way. You know what I'm saying. But I'll probably maybe do some. We've been talking, so I'll wait until like once I finish the B- joint, or we might in between I might start working with him. You know what I'm saying? We just got to figure out times and stuff like that.
Speaking of like old school era, if you will, did you get a chance to hear L Cool J's music?
Yeah, I heard some.
He did it with
he went
everyone.
off. I thought he went off.
I haven't heard it.
I think he even when like it was dope like seeing that, you know, and M is M, bro. He's just on another level. But it was dope to just see L get out of that.
I felt like he was trying to prove, even though it's crazy because LL should have like nothing to prove, but it's hearing it. I'm like, yo, he mad at somebody. Well, like he probably so mad at cannabis.
Chewing him up.
And yo, it was dope just watching him. He's still hungry, bro. He was still talking about, yo, I'm still hungry. I still want to get on these records and eat these dudes up. Pause. You know?
But I mean, you can't go wrong. Q-Tip doing like
you know
what I'm
for
saying?
real.
So like,
he did his thing.
Fucking beast, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And that sound like I feel like kind of like fit L. You know what I'm saying? Like what he was probably looking for, like, and he had a consistent sound throughout the whole album. You know what I'm saying? But you can't go wrong with like Q-Tip doing like, you know what I'm saying?
Common's album was pretty dope too,
with
man.
the P-Rock too.
I like that one. Right? Yeah, that one was fire.
That one has some really like kind of
you could feel that album. Like it's got a lot of soul
in
it,
bro. There's thought behind the songs. It's not like these 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and they was working music. Like, you know, together too. You know what I'm saying? Like their process same as mine. You know what I'm saying? So that fit. And again, it's like art is subjective. People could like certain artists, they don't. But like their sound is consistent. The same thing with L and Q-Tip. Like the sound was very consistent. That's like you have that one producer doing your whole album. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna consistently give you the same thing. They know what their beats sound like. You know what I'm saying? So like there's something to that, you know.
Word.
I'm all for that, man. I love that sound.
And it's more there's more of the combination too. I'm just not thinking of all of them off the top. But I know there's a bunch of more people I heard like legendary producers with like legendary MCs and doing stuff together, not just the comb.
Black Thought is still old school, like he's still doing it today and still fucking. He doesn't change like his same thing. His message or doesn't compromise anything. He believes in and it still comes across and super. I think he's engaged by the new school crowd, but then again, I don't know, bro. It all depends on my
Black
circle.
Thought's always been underrated though. Always, even in his time,
roots
was
too,
underrated.
Like,
it's fucking corny. Sorry, my bad.
Steve Jones,
that shit triggers me. That shit triggers me.
Oh my God, no.
Y'all want to get into some spitting?
You want to drop a verse? I got some beats if you want to drop a verse.
Oh, snap.
Fuck it.
You setting it off for what? I heard you was practicing, bro.
You can set it off.
Well, I gotta set it off. I just can't. Damn, you lucky I warmed up. So up. Freestyle, yo, always knows what's up. It feels the vibe and the energy. And I don't say up in memory, I just improv. Wing it. Lucky I'm a loose cannon and I always bring it. When I ain't sling it, we from the east and we know how to make the most of least. And we come through like the beast them. Rip the mics and no treason. no matter even, never done snitch. That's why I got that a bid.
Before I was getting reps in, I'm going for the win now. I'm shooting all net, ain't no backboard, no rim now. Got bigger plans, can't spend it on no rims now. You ain't shorting my ends now, let me see some M's now. These other rappers follow trends, fuck with sin now. I write so I could reach you, consider me your pen pal. But they ain't in my percentile. See, I'm running, ducking, dodging my projectile. This a free thrower game, cause I've been fouled. Line for line, I go at you from the inbound. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Been practicing over there, buddy.
Little
You
bit.
filled with empty threats. I promise you wreck time. Fatal mistake, come correct or there be no next time. I must say, nothing could be your saving grace. You pay your judgment days are waiting like saying grace. You pray, I'm not going away. It's not going your way. I'm bad news. Had to break it to him. I'm not sorry to say. I don't play, you play the victim. It's hell I give them. Seems you can't catch a break like a bad day of digging. Way I'm driven, why you're different. You a distant second. Carved out my own lane, my name and stone etched in. Lessons learned, question answered in adversity's face. You're so far behind in your mind, you in first place. My work rate, a devastating pace, setting a standard. Not a brand name yet, you could bet it's being branded. It's been handed to me like a baton to carry on tradition. Use the mic as my accomplice to accomplish my mission. Listen.
Yeah. You got some, Mark?
What's up? You got something?
Bro, I just told you I'm in journalist mode. I'm in host mode.
He's in
It's a host mode.
Yo.
Hey, you got another
Yo.
one? Yo, why you trying to skip me though? Nah, go ahead.
My
turn
persistence
this
keeps
for
me
the other
grounded
way.
anytime I face resistance. Wasn't met with much support, still they wonder why I'm distant. I'm all but too familiar what it feels like in an instant. When shit is stacked against you, all you have is your killer instinct. You inhale, you exhale, then calmly handle business. Better watch it or that breath will be more toxic than a Winston. If the circle rolling with you isn't there to make a difference, the ones you see that's with me won't be turning state's witness. That's the ones I let around, the ones that's going where I'm headed now. I owe it to my sons, I'm making my decisions better now. Don't care about your thoughts of me, hating but you stalking me. I settle down, your opinion weighs about a feather now, but keep it down or you can still hear the Beretta sound. Catch them where they pitch and watch them fall like I just wet the mound. I can't help it, I just gotta let it out. I've been about it every day and every day I'm going out. Boom.
Going the other way?
Yeah.
Yo, I can kick my verse for the song actually. Nah, yo. Now the camera's ready, cause I'm photo worthy. Claim their hands are steady, but all their photos blurry. Only real ninjas get the clear picture. In the crowded room, who's really there with you? So I take a bow, wave to the crowd, ain't it wild? How quiet traders, they fake it out loud. Give a great performance for a Golden Globe. Academy Award winners for that gold you hold. And we're all sinners, but you sold your soul. Scheme is all winter, so just know it's cold. They'll leave you for dead. Beatrix Kiddo killed Bill, but it's harder to kill IzReal though.
Oh, dope.
Ah, shit. Philly's going into acapella mode.
I know. That's it. My job is done. I close the game. I'm going back in my corner.
One more. One more, you're done.
I got more. Shit, we always got more.
One more.
You keeping the same beat right there? That was good.
This is themes in his contract. He got the 15-minute break, coffee break.
I got a couple more. Let me see.
He's ordering his Grimace outfit on Amazon for the Met game.
He's getting a Met tattoo, man. Ready. He's like, yo, I need that on my chest.
Shout out to the Mets, bro.
Word. Shout out to the Mets, even though I'm a Yankee fan.
You can kick it off, Truth.
My pen marker for death, take your breath, then your heart. The ain't in your muppin', I'm upending the apple cart. The arts got further apart, started something special. Separate myself from the pack, had a whole nother level. Cold as the devil in me, listen to me, shoulder the plight. Turn to my left, quiet as kept, whispered over my right. The evil spoken in my ear, clear direction in sight. I admit the thought crossed my mind like the sign of the Christ. Like I'm behind in a fight, rally with all of my might. One shot, rocking to sleep off your feet, call it a night. No other, I'm like dialed in, despite the peril. No more second guessing, questions answered and settled. They fear the rebel, can't tell you what I'm capable of. I'm no saint, ain't afraid to take off the gloves. Let go of the love and blood, I'ma baptize them. Just wait for one mistake with a knack for capitalizing, yeah.
I like.
Fire.
One more? You got one more, Eve?
Yeah.
I'm just making it up, yo. From a place where they stay corrupt, trying to teach me to be upright, but they sit down when it's time to stand tight. And I'm the type to grab the mic and ignite and flamethrower, game blower, pause. You know we never at a loss for words, and I see past the fog, but I ain't no Mike Hogg. I share it with my brethren, even though I gotta make my statements. We from the basement and the pavement where they never gave us nada, and that's alright, cause I know the double caras is watching. Ease wants to hawking, that's all good, man. You the host, so I'ma just bow and humble myself to the crowd, y'all.
Yo. They can't ignore me anymore. I'm done sharpening my sword, heading toward greener pastures, whether home or when abroad. I live to tell about it, even when the odds was poor. Forgive me if your war stories got me nodding off. You can look, but best get lost. If you ain't part of the plan, then you ain't between me and the plan. It may get bland, but the drama, I don't need it. I make my moves strategic. The streets is full of heartache. Better read it or you'll weep it. I've been beaten, I've been battered, been defeated. It don't matter. I'm competing like I'm Rocky, blocking out all the chatter. Lost my brother, that's my Mickey. Steady with me, feel his aura. I know we feel the love and all the liquor that we pour them.
Yeah. Yo, thank you guys for having me. I'll be back.
What about some of y'all other joints that y'all had back in the day? Y'all ever try to put them back out?
Oh, the mixtape.
We got music coming out now too. We have what you talking about with songs, like stuff that we had, like T Weapons.
T Weapons.
We you know what's funny? We got a song with Doom and Psalms in it too, but you know it's like, I don't know, man. With stuff like that, when you got
shout out to Psalms.
Yeah, it's like when you putting it out. Nowadays, it gotta make sense. I don't want to just put anything out just to put it out. You know what I mean? I want it to be part of something. You know what I mean? Like it means something too, because there's so many songs just coming out randomly, and I'm at that point where you gotta value your craft too. You know, so it's like everything we do, there's gonna be an agenda behind it. There's gonna be a push for it, or video, but there's a vision behind it. You know, so although like if we had a bunch of tracks that we were gonna release, you know, like maybe
that would make sense.
That would make sense, and I'm 100% down for that. But yeah, man, we actually do. We got a bunch of like tracks that every now and then Iz will send me something like what you sent me last? He sent me something that we did with what's his name from Channel Live, Hakeem
Green,
yeah.
And AL Skills, right? And we were on this. And I'm like,
yeah. Shout out to AL.
Yeah, he sent me that. I was like, oh, so stuff like that. Those like, damn, man, those are dope, and those are gems that like.
That was an older joint that y'all did?
Yeah, that's a.
But I know y'all did with some legendary producers too. Yeah, I was working with.
Well, like, I know me as of recently, probably the most monumental for me was something with Raekwon, right? We got a song with Raekwon. Prodigy, which is like it feels amazing to have that, right? Yeah. And then it's dope with him. We didn't shoot a video with Raekwon, but we shot a video with Prodigy. So it's like I got that forever, you know what I mean? So it feels good to have that.
Yeah, who's my bucket list? Like I wanted Prodigy.
Yeah, but you did a joint with Sean P. Y'all did a video.
I didn't get to do a song with Sean. That's
P.
like.
They did a
video
do
another song for the second album. Then he had passed away. He was always telling me, "Yo, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something." Yeah, he's mad cool.
You know what's crazy? So we shout out to Last Call Steve, right? But back in the days, T Weapons, we were messing like with Steve. He was kind of like he had a record label, and we were building on something, and he got a bunch of beats from Alchemist, right? And
that did a lot of joints with Alchemist.
Yeah, and it's like, so there's one joint we did in Queens, but like Queensbridge around over there, because the plug to Alchemist was Tragedy, right?
Yeah. Shout out Tragedy.
Yeah, so he was the plug. So he was in the studio. We dropped a song there, but that song really never, it didn't do anything, fizzle. Fast forward to like maybe 4 years ago, Tragedy dropped something, right? Or maybe less, I don't know. I'm saying roughly around there. And I'm listening to the song. I'm like, yo, nigga, we had that song. That's our beat.
the
same one. And then like as we were listening to it, and it was dope. He kept us on there, bro.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So it was like about maybe 8 bars, and then the whole lineup.
I gotta hear that song.
He kept. It was like one of those Kanye tracks where Rick Ross comes in after the beat drops, so it was like after everything's over. But shout out to him for keeping us on that show.
Years later, you know what I mean? Like I could have totally understand that beat just ending up somewhere else. You know what I mean? whatever. But
And that was on the Alchemist joint. That
was on the Alchemist joint. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that Alchemist joint was fire that you did back in the day.
You know who was on that shit too? And shout out to Royal Flush. He was on that track too with Traj.
Oh, word? Oh, that's
Yo, it's just that little being one of those mystery ones that man, that's beautiful.
that's the homie. I did like 2 videos with Flush. I got 3 videos with Tragedy. So that's all Queens.
Legendary,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
New York hip hop, baby.
Yeah, New York hip hop, man. And you know what I'm saying? It's like my boy knows Flush or my boy knows Traj, and we just all, you know what I'm saying? My other boy knows them, and we always being around each other, you know what I'm saying? So being able to work with them too, because I'm like, yo, yeah, legendary artists, but like
being
cool with them is another thing.
Yo, low key, we bumped into. That's where I met fucking AZ. I mean, we were
Master Killer.
a lot of Wu-Tang affiliates.
True Master.
Yeah, I met
True
Master
Master
Killer
there,
East
and
New York
PF.
too,
You know,
PF.
who else? True Master. I remember he introduced us to True Master because again
He was up on the hill.
Theme. I don't think Theme really speaks.
It was short-lived, that's
potential.
why.
It was super short-lived, but the potential was dope. And he was like, one of, I want to say, what do you?
I was a hitman for hire.
I'm not gonna say a Killer B because he wasn't officially
Nah,
done, but he had a few joints with them, like on there. So I remember he introduces and we were in a cipher because back then it was always ciphers, bro.
Yeah,
I love
high
that. It's
school.
like, bro, mad ciphers, and then I know they're gonna be like, but why you didn't rap? Because I'm in my journalist background, son. What the fuck?
Yeah, I cipher with the Genius back in the day too when I was a
The
kid.
Jizza.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, he's
I
like
want
one
to
of my
play Genius in
favorite.
chess, bro.
One of my top 5 albums of hip hop albums of all time. Liquid Swords.
Of course, man.
Yo, deadass, I probably wouldn't have been able to rhyme either. And just right, so like the last month and a half, I've made a conscious effort to write more, memorize more, just be a rapper, right? Because I'm trying to do my thing as an artist, but I'm also video editing. I'm fucking making cover art. I'm doing I'm social media content. I'm doing so much shit. And sometimes you spend so much time
Let's
away.
speak on that. Wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah, because sometimes you spend so much time away from the main craft. And like I was recording the other day and I felt rusty. Like I felt like it wasn't coming out the way I was hearing it here.
Right.
And I thought I got past that like years ago. Like,
That's why freestyle is we should and this will be a sidebar too, but create little freestyle specific shows. And anyway, we'll talk about that after. But
first thought in my head was I'm doing way too much video editing. I'm doing way too much fucking
wearing all the hats.
script writing and all kinds of other shit. And I'm like, I gotta get back to writing and rapping and how I'm gonna be a rapper. I couldn't even step in the cypher 2 months ago. Now I got shit that I could spit because I've written it. I've memorized.
Don't rely on the whole written, bro. I'm telling you.
But it's where I came from.
It'll get good because look at it like instruments, right? When you go and instruments are playing and they'll just rock out, bro. They'll just rock out and they'll just do something and they'll just make a melody and they'll just go in.
Well, yeah.
Right? So when you start like, man, you hear beat and just lock in and go and sync, and
White power.
and I say that in the studio, at DAC studio over there, there's a few of our era kind of do, so there's still a lot of ciphers going on. So I've been ciphering and I've just been doing freestyles. And I love it, but I think that's content we gotta sell, bro.
Well, yeah.
Seriously, because I think I need to
Watch
pay
them
for
hand signs out
some
here,
real
bro.
crazy. Bro, I have some stuff that but anyway, that's another conversation. But that is dope. Those little, because again, nowadays, man, you gotta value what you're putting out. So I think that if you're gonna put out something that is what you're known for, it should be put out in a particular way, man. Mm-hmm. And you may have to pay $1.99 for that.
For that, yeah.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's not gonna kill you. Y'all buy a bunch of other crazy stuff. Like it's okay to buy a song every night. I remember this generation buys way more stuff online. So
just not music. But then they buy any and everything else. They subscribe to 15 different. Yeah. It's like a cable bill now. 15 different fucking streaming services. Add it all up, and it was what you were paying for cable.
So this is my question to you guys, right? You guys are still active artists.
Yeah,
you do it for the passion. You do it for the love, for the music, for hip hop. Now, as far as monetizing this thing, whether it's merch or the music or everything like that, what is the plan to bring everything together and actually, making some good revenue off of the music?
Well, it's not that, I want to go and sell my stuff. But I want to create. Well, we are creating projects that are like really worth it, man. Back in the days, you felt so proud in buying something and bringing it home.
The
and
CD,
it's like, yo, the CD
tangible.
busts everything open. So, right now, like, what I want to put out something like that, like a project where it's an old. I don't even want. Fuck it. I'll say it because it's still gonna happen. But like, like a Walkman, right? And you're putting out you're selling the Walkman.
I'm gonna go patent that shit when I get home.
And now, it's like X amount of money. You get this, and blah, blah, blah. It's a whole package thing. And I think that's going to be more, not that it's going to be more well received, because it all depends on how you're fucking pushing it too. This is what it really boils down to too, man. Again, are you showing up on people's algorithms and how do you get on those algorithms, 9 times out of 10, bro, you got to pay to get on these fucking algorithms, man. So back to what you're saying about what do you want to do. And I think it's creating your own community and touching base with them and performing in these places and coming where they can see you live, and now they believe
so
in
performing,
Well, no, the answer is going to be, to answer like your specific question, it's going to be different for everybody. But the community remains the same. You got to find a way to get them. Me personally, I think just from what I'm seeing of the landscape of what's out there is the music isn't really what attracts the fan base. It's your personality. The music can keep them though. So to me, I think is if you find a way to put yourself, doesn't mean you got to be fake or try to be like somebody else, but you do got to show people who you are, not just through the music, but through some other means. Whether it's
like a
through
podcast.
funny skits or through a podcast, or like there's some artists that have blown up from like silly skits. Like I don't know if you guys follow Connor Price, but he was an actor. Now he's a music. He's an artist, and what he does is he makes funny skits, but involves every song in each skit.
Right.
So like he plays different roles. So like he's playing him, him, and he's playing, and then the camera will just pan back and forth.
Shit.
Yeah, like, and he's talking to himself, but as different people. Like it's his own version of a commercial.
Viral content.
Yeah, it's how he goes. But there's other dude, Don Michael Jr., who's another independent artist. He's his own engineer, right? And he's in the booth, but the camera's on him as the engineer, and he's kind of clowning himself, and it's funny.
That dude.
So that's how he attracts people with his personality. So
I'll tell you,
doesn't work for everybody. Some people, they strike out, but with others, it's you get to know them first, and then the music keeps you. If you can grow your fan base, then you can monetize other things, merchandise, performances, anything that you can think of, whatever it is. The music before it actually drops to streaming, you could charge for it, then drop it, say 30 days later, whatever the case may be. But you find out what it is through trial and error.
Have you heard his real music, that dude?
Yeah, he's nice.
So this is a crazy thing. I know he's nice.
So that makes you want to check it.
I see the sounding like somebody, and he kills their style of rapping and all that, right? But it was more novelty. See, like I like that stuff, and I logged in, but I never heard any of his music.
Right.
So that is also a fine line too. Like what you're putting out, like what's first, what's on top, what trumps. What's if you're putting in the hierarchy. Okay, I'm pushing this, and I also do this, right? So you got like someone like Joe Rogan, right? Love him. He's an amazing podcaster.
Who's that?
I don't love him as much as a comedian, bro. He's funny. He's dope.
He's a comedian too. That's funny you said that.
But it's like,
he's not known. He's not known. Right? He's not known as a comedian like that. But he is a comedian.
You prefer him as a
podcast, right? Because I don't know. I can't put my finger on it because it's not whack. I went out and I saw the Netflix. I'm like,
he did a live Netflix, but it takes balls to do that shit,
that's
bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. I appreciate it. It was cool, but it didn't resonate with me. Like there's no real takeaways like how when I watch his podcast, Yeah. So that's also what you gotta be mindful of too. So it's like with that dude, I never heard his music, but the fact that it's not as popular as his novelty stuff.
Right.
So it's like, again, what's like, really boils down to what do you want to be known as, and what do you really?
Well, the podcast, but he's really popular. But he also does
Joe
announcing,
Budden right now, right?
Commentating.
Would you think his music be as accepted as right now? If we used to drop some new shit,
Who? Joe Budden? Nah, I think he's way past that.
He ain't dropping no new music.
He was crazy, but he was
still got a
own
fan base of people.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure that he gets mad fucking.
They're making some good bread off that
But
podcast.
I think he's got a bigger fan base now as a podcaster that likes him for his podcasting than maybe did for him as a rapper. Which is a crazy thought. But just goes to show that you got to constantly evolve. It's trial and error. You got to see what works, and what doesn't work, you scrap that.
I recently saw Michael Jackson, the musical, right? And it was amazing. Just, of course, it's not him, but just seeing
Michael Jackson
the
got a
likeness.
musical. A musical?
The musical of
yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Like,
On Broadway?
Yeah,
I
was,
seen the Broadway tour. I never seen
You
it.
seen it, right? Yeah, it was dope, man. It was like, he was always trying to stay cutting edge. And you would never I saw it show you a little behind the window of stuff that we go through. You know what I mean? And
Right.
not on that same
Not on his level.
He's like a freaking billionaire and shit. But even being a billionaire, right? The struggles with money, bro. Every 30 minutes, his lawyer came in and it was a whole conversation of how they're about to lose it all type shit. But you would never see that shit. And then it was mad conversation of him scrutinizing himself and yo, I need to recreate this, and there's a sound and hip hop is out, and and he was, and it's oh shit, he's breaking his head trying to come up with all these different music and how the industry again.
But then he did a joint with Big, right?
Yeah,
So he eventually branched out himself.
He liked hip hop.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to change him to suit hip hop.
To suit hip hop, yeah.
So that's was great too. He stood, and his closest thing probably would be at that time Bad, right? This is why he did, I'm bad, and kind of.
Right.
But every now and then, he got songs that what's the that the one that he's damn, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Yeah.
But there's a little different.
Bars.
The only reason why I would say your example isn't the best example is because he's one of the most talented people to ever exist. He transcends
But
everything.
but the reason why I brought
you
it
know what
up
I mean?
was
Then there's
because
other people who
it's a
have their
household
niche
name.
and have their
But
lane. They gotta
reinventing-
find their fan.
no,
Yeah.
but he had to go through the same thing because
But not on the scale
Bro, even bigger than that, because he was on. All right, so he had different producers, right? And when he spoke about the different producer eras, it was always a new sound with
that's
each
true.
producer.
That's true. That
So
out there,
he
you're
fell
right.
off, and he was scared. He's like, I'm not under. He was going on tour, and he was performing old stuff, and he's like, I don't want to do this old stuff anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. I need to do this. Blah blah blah.
Then he started
and
working
they were
with
like, you're
Dark
not.
Child,
right?
And they were like,
Yeah.
no. And his
Yeah.
dad, no, you got to do this. You got to. This is almost holding it back, and he would have been that kind of artist forever. He would have been doing Jackson songs forever.
But he didn't write all his stuff though, right? Michael Jackson wasn't writing.
He had help.
Yeah, right.
He had the
Yeah,
Drake.
they had writers. Yeah, they for sure had writers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a group, but he did a lot of his own stuff, man. He did a lot of his own producing. I think he wore too many hats. But they were with the music.
He used to
industry,
beatbox too, like crazy. That's one thing that
he
a
was
lot of
so-
people don't know. He was a
and
beatbox.
he learned art, like theater art dancing, right? That's why he was like Charlie Chapman kind of, create a show just without saying anything. So he studied the game hard, but there was plenty of times where the industry were about to shun him and just close him up. Yo, stick to that kind of music. What are you doing over here? Nah, and he had to fight for that shit. And he fought for Off the Wall. He fought for Thriller and all that. They were like, what? You're crazy. What are you trying to do? And look, bro, he fucking broke.
I'm trying to think of the song that he did with Big. What song did he did?
I don't remember
Michael
the title
Jackson?
either. I
Did
just
you
heard the
sound with
story.
Jay-Z?
I heard the story, but
Maybe
I
it was a
think
remix. Maybe they remixed their
Jay-Z
voices
was
on
right?
there.
Somebody brought him out. Somebody brought him out in one of the summer jams, bro. I think it was
Oh,
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z did bring him out in Summer Jam. Yeah, that was the same Summer Jam where Prodigy was on the screen. Yeah.
Oh,
Word.
that's the same one. Yeah, because he went
I
on
remember
that
that
song
shit.
with my
How
boy
do
was
you
like,
do that?
that's crazy.
How do you
Yeah.
bring out MJ
That's some fucked up
and
shit, yeah.
Said he shut the game down. I didn't even know. I think Al Scratch did a song with Michael Jackson too. Yeah, because my boy was like, yo, he did a song with Al Scratch. He's like, yo, he
Word?
did a song with Michael
With
Jackson.
MJ?
That's amazing.
I
son.
gotta ask him next time because I think I mentioned
Yeah,
it somewhere.
that's crazy to have
Yeah,
that
but
under
somebody
your belt.
played it for me on
That's-
YouTube. They were like, yo, the song with him, Michael Jackson. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I saw Michael Jackson. It's like, that's wild. Yeah.
Any last thoughts, fellas, before we wrap it up?
Anything you want to promote?
Who you voting
Anything?
for? Who you voting for? Trump or Harris?
I was trying not to get political and derail it.
You ain't
but-
got to get into all that.
I
if you
don't know.
I mean,
want to.
I already know, what I'm saying,
He
where
knows
you
the
leaning
deal, but
towards.
You already know, like I'm not about like I think like the whole censorship and then you start to understand like how these people lie so much, and you're like, not that the other people not lying, both sides are gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like more like on the one side is they control the media and all of that. Once I started to understand and pay attention a little bit more, because I was like anti-politics. I never wanted to listen to anything political, but then I started to pay attention with things like, you know what I'm saying, like maybe affect me in some way, and I was like, yo, let me start paying attention. But like, you know what I'm saying? But
Bless you.
they're such a dirty game that they all play, and it's like, you don't
They
know
all
what to
taking
believe,
shots.
and most people are not really paying attention to politics anyway. They just listen to sound bites, and most of them are just like getting on with their life. And you know what I'm saying? So nobody's really paying attention. So it's like you don't really know who is like really better for you. And some, like I can see people like going, like I would think, like, how could you ever vote for a particular person knowing the stuff, their track record, but they try to hide it?
Don't be neutral, bro.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to influence nobody or be like, you know, whatever. But I'm like, I know for me, you know, like what I hear from people, and I'm like, yeah, they'll get canceled. They'll be like, oh my God. No, but like,
I see
to me, like,
it's
kind of like,
smart.
you know what I'm saying? But again, I don't want to sway. I think people, like, when you're one way, they're like, oh, like they
I think
look
you're right,
at you.
though, bro.
I was just saying, I agree with you 100%. Be neutral.
A lot of people are not into politics, bro. When you see all these artists, there's a check behind it, bro.
Yo, people get crazy. I mean, we're talking politics like with my family, and they was like, when I said something, they was like they wanted to like kill me, and I was like, yo, let's not have this conversation, bro. I'm like,
bro, they even paid battle rappers last election to do a battle rap about the elections, bro. But and it came out in the elections, and the community like really went at them. I'm not even gonna say the artist name and all that because, but they really, and this is fucking battle rap, and they caught checks off of that shit, bro.
And it's crazy because you had said sound bites, right? You hit the nail on the head because yes, people do only listen to sound bites, and what's even worse now is that the way that they get their sound bites, it's literally spoon fed to them because the more you look at one angle of something, the more that the shit is gonna keep feeding it to you because all it wants is for you to keep the app open, right? That's all they want. So if it sees you leaning this way, it's gonna keep feeding you that shit.
Algorithm.
And then the thing is that with AI nowadays, you could be looking at a video that is absolutely not real, and you take that shit as being the God's honest truth. And then what happens? You scroll to the next one, and then you just keep seeing them. You can be brainwashed in one direction or the other.
But I think the one thing, like, one was already the president and had 4 years. Then you had another one that's the vice president currently. But what's the quote from like Maya Angelou? No matter what you say or how you say it, but it's like how you feel. Like, how did you feel when this person, with your pockets a certain way, with the other person?
And a fact is a fact. So you got, in the last 12 years, 8 of them were Democrats and 4 were Republicans.
Right.
So the majority of the temperature where we're at right now,
most of the time is Democrats and party. But like I feel like
they're not the Democrats anymore, bro.
It's a different. I think like the values change. I think a lot too. Like, but again, that's like probably because you're paying attention a little bit more than most people are paying attention. People are only being force fed.
I think politics is a hot topic nowadays. More people are talking about it because
right now.
These candidates are so polarizing, and you know all the shit that's been going on. Polarizing. Shout out to Polar Pete. Shout out to the New York Mets, baby. We up 2-1. We trying to get this episode out quick.
Yeah, otherwise they could have won or lost.
They could have won or lost. By the time we lost, we got to get this episode out quick. But shout out to the Mets. Shout out to the Yankees. We're both in the playoffs.
See how
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Down.
But I like censorship. I like vaccine mandates. I think I'm gonna vote for Harris. I like politicians, with deep pockets and that are puppets for the establishment.
Are you changing your name from theme? You're taking off the E.
Yeah,
and he's just dumb.
I'm gonna change my pronouns.
It's
I don't
a crazy
care.
world.
Cancel
It's
me.
just so different. Like, it's a crazy world we live in, man. We gotta learn to, I think, pay attention and make the decision on yourself, and not like what people are just force feeding you from. You got to do your homework,
do your research, guys.
The crazy part is that, say you want to go back 20, 30 years, you used to be able to talk about it and either agree to disagree, or God forbid, actually inform somebody and educate somebody. I mean, now it's just, why even talk about it? But if I'm going to go into a conversation with you and nothing I'm saying is going to have any kind of impact on you, and nothing you saying is going to have any, why the fuck are we even talking about it? Like, I don't get that nowadays.
But I understand, like, you don't know these people. Like, why would you get so offended by some people are like, offended, if you go for this person, like, I'll never talk to you. I'm like, you don't even know who they are, like, but you think that's what their values are or whatever. Like, I don't understand. But the one thing I think I like with RFK was like that he was kind of like, we need to have more open discussions and talk with people. Like, you're not going to get anywhere by not speaking to anybody or like censoring somebody. Like, you need to talk with people. And I didn't like the whole fact that like you're trying to censor people. Like, why don't you let people talk and have an open conversation?
They wasn't even trying to give them Secret Service protection, bro. Like, they just wanted.
Was on Matt Hoffa's podcast. podcast, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow,
I saw that.
That's crazy.
I saw that.
He's a super
crazy.
like debate. Like he grew up being like a debater. Like you know what I'm saying. So he's like his whole life is about talking, and like so he's like so used to that. But he's like that's like the old Democratic Party where it's like he wanted to do things for I think people. I think again it's like a big shift of way the Democrats. I viewed them from back in the day till now. You know what I'm saying?
He's a different kind of woke because the stuff he says is very awakening, bro.
He's awakened, but I don't find him like woke. But I found like he's very.
No, I'm saying literally because I wish woke meant what it really supposed to mean, bro.
It used to mean something. Now it's a joke.
I like with the whole food thing that he talks about, like why are we having like all these vaccines and like this is the effect of like the children.
Guys in good shape.
He's more conscious in that way, which I like. But if he was like, he would probably give a lot of these guys a lot of trouble in terms of like running if he was more popular. But they trying to like censor him and they
made him out to be crazy. Like everything makes him out to be crazy.
But he started to get like a real like following. Like people are started to pay attention.
He doesn't have the money behind it. And he doesn't. And he has kind of his family has too many enemies.
They also pay them off because you split the votes for one of the parties. You end up taking
and that's why he endorsed.
It's easier for you to endorse somebody and get a kickback than it is for you to try to have an uprising. When in reality, you know what it would take, like for you to be able to get on. In order for you as an independent to get on par with both of these two superpowers, it's impossible now.
And he's a good debater. Like his whole life is being a debater. So like if he would like go and do a debate with some of these people, he would give them a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, they don't want to get a chance.
He'll call him out on their shit.
He knows his stuff.
In that podcast, he was telling them about being careful about certain words and stuff. He was saying these words you wouldn't like. It'll destroy.
They'll get flagged.
And he was talking about just how China is right with the censorship right now. How they don't even need money over there right now because everything is facial recognition. That
biometrics.
You walk around. You don't even need.
No, City Field is fucking facial recognition.
So it's like
I didn't even get patted down because that shit was wild to me. The fucking line,
I went
the
there
line
last
was
year.
all the way in the
they
parking
didn't have
lot.
that.
I ain't never seen that shit before.
I know they were you guys went recently.
Yeah, you could come through this door, but you got to sign up for the. So wifey goes, she puts in a thing. She scanned. They didn't even have to scan us. They just scanned her. They let us all in. I didn't even get patted down. I'm like,
you know what he said? They have I mean, this is known, but
that's some airport
shit. They had their social credit score, right? So the social credit score.
Oh, we about to get our Joe Rogan on right now.
It affects your
if you're likely, and it also tells them if you're likely to be a problem.
Yeah, and if you're hanging out with people
that are social credit score,
if you're hanging out with people that are quote unquote have low
brings your score down.
It brings your score down.
Episode of Black Mirror, bro.
Where you can't get gas, you can't leave your place, you can get groceries and only in your remote area. And then you know what he said? He said that's been there like that, and right now Brazil just is adopting that now because they just canceled a Twitter over there. So it's like.
Yep.
You could almost because to be honest, this woke stuff is they're aligning with
imagine if
China.
If Elon didn't buy Twitter.
Harris, she said that the First Amendment is a privilege, right? Bro, like they're almost speaking about it like maybe it's something. It's a different time, and maybe we have to adjust it kind of mentality. But this is crazy, bro.
But he sued a lot of people. RFK too. I think he sued like the Biden administration for something. He won too. Like I think for censorship or something. He sued a lot of people. He was a lawyer.
I was paying attention to him before the whole presidency run. During the pandemic, they were speaking up against the vaccine mandates. So RFK's been doing this thing for a minute, man. For a minute.
But he super blew up. Like once he started running for president, he started getting on a lot of like podcasts and and he was just getting out. Yeah, grassroots. And he like really
because he understood that you can do that now without billions of dollars on TV ads and all kinds of bullshit.
You don't need to go on Oprah. You don't need to go to Jimmy Fallon. You need to go all this bullshit that they're doing right now.
But they don't want him running because he's gonna give people a problem. He's a good debater. He knows how to speak.
But like he said, they'll set him up in the states. So right now he's still on the ballot in states where they want to hurt somebody.
They do. But I'm saying like that's like intentional. Like
right.
That don't make no sense though. If he already withdrew from the race,
he shouldn't be on the ballot. What's the guy? Newsom. Like they don't need identification.
Gavin Newsom
in California. Like you don't need.
That's the governor of California.
They just passed it. Like how you don't have ID to like.
It's ridiculous.
California got a lot of power too. They got like the
right now
fifth
with this
largest
whole
economy or
migrant stuff,
something
But like,
like
how
that
are
in
you
the world.
gonna like?
Silicon Valley.
How are you gonna know?
You know what's a little cray, and I know we'll probably it's probably taking that.
Yeah, you gotta wrap it up. Don't go on a tangent. Yeah, don't.
But like
let's wrap it
something
up,
I can
guys.
see being affected by the election is this hurricane right now, right? So you got like Florida, right? A big red state, bro.
Shout out to my family in Florida. God bless. I hope
them
you're all
man.
good.
If it really impacts that, like how they're projecting, this is something as it's gonna be. I don't even want to put those kind of words of the projections that they said. That's gonna cripple that state, bro. And
that's
that
one
could
of the
easily
better
sway the small pockets to become, to justify it becoming a blue state. Bro.
I don't think that'll happen.
Nah, it's not
That's,
happening.
you know how many people left
saying,
New
I don't
York
want
to
it to happen,
Florida?
but
That's one of like the top like 3 states. It was like
of
Florida,
course.
Texas, Tennessee that were leaving
Yo,
all the.
this hurricane is literally. How about it make it very difficult to vote because it's obliterated. Bro.
That's true. I never really. Yeah.
There's been worse.
I hope
There's
not.
been worse. You'll see.
No, but this last one
this
really
last one,
fucked
son,
up the Carolinas.
It's the size
bad,
of the Gulf.
bro.
The whole entire
Yeah.
Gulf.
A lot
is
of
that
people
size.
lost their
This
homes,
is crazy,
man.
bro. Like, so
It's not even on the news because of the election shit going on, but a lot of people
you
lost
see
their
that
homes, bro.
meteorologist crying, bro. Like, I know
Yeah.
again they're sensationalizing it and they're getting it for the
They're-
clicks, but the fact is when you
Yeah.
just look at it, oh shit!
I
this is the
follow this
biggest-
guy,
This is crazy, bro.
Tim Kennedy, right? So he not related to RFK, but Tim Kennedy, he's a former UFC fighter. He's a special operator for like the Green Beret, whatever. So he does like rescue missions, right? So he's based in Texas. So he'll go to like Afghanistan, he'll go overseas, or he'll get deployed. He's a crazy motherfucker, right? But he's got military training, and he tried to go to those sections in the Carolinas where they got really battered by the storm. But the thing is that people can't get through with conventional vehicles. You can't. You have to literally get airlifted in there to provide some type of support for people. And FEMA doesn't have the resources. They don't have the money. They don't. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like all the money went to other things.
So if somebody wants to go over there and like help out, they can't go and help out.
It's difficult.
They can't even get through.
It's difficult because you can't even get through. You got to get airlifted. They're in the mountains over there.
I heard, again, this is all speculations, but there's even people who said they have their personal helicopters and they were restricted in helping them.
Wow.
This is crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. So anyway,
We
went down the rabbit hole, guys.
Yeah,
but,
and I know we send our blessings
listen.
and our love to everyone who may be in danger.
Word.
But what do we have to look for?
Any final shout-outs?
Nostalgia part 2, the
Yeah,
therapy
working on
part 2.
part 2. I haven't got no features yet, but
Yo,
I've
what's
been
up,
talking
yo?
to some of the stuff, so
I'm
we
saying,
thinking
we
about
need
Or y'all need to do the collab.
I know kind of like what I have, but I still got.
After
I got
this,
so
we'll go
much
to East
working.
Studio,
bro.
but bust out.
We'll
It's
do a
working. I
collabo.
like that. You know what I'm saying? But I know kind of like where I'm going with it. So it just once I get in with them, I know I can knock it out quick, and then I'll work on the next project. But I write all the time, so I got kind of like in mind like what I want. So.
Dope, man. Looking
Yeah.
forward
Yo,
to
let's
that.
do
I
a
appreciate
pose
y'all
for-
having me, man.
Let's do a
For the thumbnail.
quick thumbnail for the camera, guys.
Old school, new school, need the murder.